Inmate have escaped the medium security custodial center in Kaba, Kogi State, following an attack by yet-to-be-identified gunmen. The Nigerian Correctional Service NCOS spokesman Mr. Francis Enobore confirmed the incident in a communique on Monday, stating that the attack took place at about midnight on Sunday. According to him, the attackers in their numbers arrived at the custodial center heavily armed and immediately enraged the guards in a fierce gun battle. The soldiers were said to have mounted routine checkpoint about 50 meters before the correctional center along the Lokoja-Okebukun-Kaba highway when the hoodlums rained bullets on them before they marched on the correctional center. Unconfirmed account reported gunmen sprayed bullets on an uncompleted building where the soldiers stayed before breaking into the correctional center, where they set over 100 of the inmates free. Some of the correctional officers on duty were said to have been injured, while another soldiers were said to have been hit in the leg. Meanwhile, the federal government says the security forces have launched manhunt for inmates who escaped from the Kaba Medium Custodial Center in Kogi State in the early hours of Monday. Minister of Interior Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, who stated this in a statement, however, regretted the loss of a soldier, a policeman to the attack, saying 2 personnel of the correctional center are still missing. The statement signed by media assistant to the minister, Shola Fashure, said 2 officers of the correctional service are yet to be accounted for, while 1 soldier and a policeman died during the attack. Aregbesola said he had been briefed by the Controller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Haliru Nababa, on the unfortunate attack on the center by unidentified gunmen. He noted that during the attack, security officers on duty, which comprised of 15 soldiers, 10 police officers, and 10 armed guards of the NCOS on duty, fought gallantly to repel the attack. In another development, the federal government has called on the global community on biodiversity conversation to promote and respect natural habitat for conservation of biodiversity to ensure a healthy planet. Secretary to the government, Boss Mustafa, made the call while declaring open the 33rd section of the International Coordinating Council of the Man and the Biosphere MABEC program in Abuja. However, stressed that Nigeria has taken various reversal measures in compliance with some of the Sustainable Development Goals of the UN. The Minister of State for Environment, Sharon Ikiazo, while welcoming guests, said the Global Summit provides a veritable platform through which cooperation and research are boosted in order to achieve capacity building and ecological restoration. Meanwhile, the Director General of UNESCO, Audrey Azoulay, who was also at the event, noted with dismay the reality of the erosion of biodiversity, which continues to threaten human existence.
Sustainable development, not only for all humanity to better understand the critical effects of biodiversity loss, but to appreciate how biodiversity conservation can contribute significantly to solving a good number.
The program presents a unique platform for cooperation on research and development, ecological restoration, capacity building, and networking to share information, knowledge, and experience on 3 interlinked issues: biodiversity loss, climate change, and sustainable development. The world is facing a planetary crisis of climate change and biodiversity loss. This global loss of biodiversity is threatening the security of the world's food supplies and the livelihoods of millions of people, including indigenous people and local communities, most especially in the African region.
As we may observe, our combined attitudes and lifestyles have dramatically altered the land around us. We have cleared forests and other natural terrain to create space for urban areas, settlements, agriculture, and industries. In so doing, we have reduced the overall space for wildlife and degraded natural safe space between humans and animals. We must all rise and take the responsibility to restore this human nature, safe space by taking responsible steps to conserve biodiversity and restore lost resources. We must work together to find innovative solutions to turn this human tragedy into what we are calling a generational opportunity to build back better, a more equal and sustainable world. This brings to mind the current UN decade for ecosystem restoration, which aims to prevent, halt and reverse the degradation of ecosystems on every continent and in every ocean, and in line with the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. The decade therefore places a demand on scientists, and indeed on all of us, to work together to recover our lost ecosystem and biodiversity to build back better.
Still on environment, the senators commenced the 3-day public hearing to investigate the yearly loss of $9 billion as a result of illegal mining and smuggling of gold in Nigeria. The 3-day public hearing was scheduled to address the illicit activities in the nation's mining sector, sequel to a motion fronted by Abia North Senator and Chief Whip of the Senate, Senator Orji Uzokalo. President of the Senate, Senator Hamad Lawan, who was represented by the Minority Chief Whip of the Senate, Senator Philip Aduda, while declaring the hearing open, said the activity of illegal miners was leading to a great loss of the nation's revenue. He added that Nigeria has a lot more to do if the country must succeed in diversifying its economy by ensuring the development of the solid mineral sectors. Chairman, Senate Committee on Solid Minerals, Mine Steel Development and Metallurgy, Senator Tanko Al-Makure, who presided over the 3-day legislative activity, said the mineral sector has failed to meet public expectation of driving economic growth and generating employment to the teeming youths.
And Reenactment Bill 2021 SB 749. The motion included in this hearing is on the urgent need to investigate the loss of $9 billion of illegal mining and smuggling of gold. The outline of the bills is about strengthening the regulatory frameworks in alternative revenue-yielding sectors for the nation's economy and about avoiding leakages in earnings. Our monocultural economic outlook has been most concerning, while diversification has been a focus over the years. Relatedly, the steel, solid minerals, and agricultural sector are identified as some areas we can harness. For the solid mineral sector, which is our focus today, our potentials are enormous, considering our natural endowment and the varieties at our various disposals. Our responsibility is therefore to appreciate this gift and grow the legislations guiding exploration and generation and the use of the occurring resources. Added to this is the need to learn from experiences of oil exploration in the spheres of administration, community relations, resources, generation and distribution, and then sustainability. While the 4 bills before us are connected to these issues, the motion on investigating our loss is also.
Nigeria is blessed with an abundance of solid minerals in 5 distinct classes. Precious minerals, gemstones, like ruby, emerald, etc. Metallic ores, like lead, zinc, copper, etc. Construction minerals, like laterite, granite, gravel, and sand, etc. And energy minerals, like bitumen, coal, and uranium, among others. All this resource remains largely untapped and unexplored. However, the proposed Nigerian Mineral Development Corporation seeks to develop upstream exploration and production, midstream mineral processing and metallurgy, and downstream logistics, trade, and export, which will catalyze investment in the entire mining value chain in Nigeria.
Staying with the Red Chamber, the lawmaker representing Nasarawa West in the Senate, Abdullahi Adamu, has declared that the current administration has not failed as claimed. Adamu, who is chairman Senate Committee on Agriculture, stated this while briefing Senate correspondent on Monday in Abuja. The Nasarawa state lawmaker, however, noted that there is no basis for comparing the country with other developing nations, insisting that Nigeria has not failed under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari. He insisted that the security challenges bedeviling Nigeria have been ongoing for decades. He further explained that Parliament can only make laws and make recommendations to the executive, as it does not have the powers to hire and fire. The former Nasarawa governor further stated that no problem facing Nigeria is alien to the current administration, saying it developed over the years. He also said that the division between northern and southern politicians dates back to the amalgamation period.
I think we sometimes turn our backs at the areas of progress we made in this country. We tend to emphasize and talk only about the negativities in our journey. Every country has had trying moments. But if I may just give you little examples for you just to take a look at. How many trunk A roads do we have in 1960? How many do we have now? How do you measure progress? Do you measure progress by just the banditry or by Boko Haram occurrences in Nigeria? We have a way of always comparing ourselves with some other places. Yes, it's a natural phenomenon. We all tend to do so. But the fact remains, Nigeria is not Ghana.
Famous human rights activist and senior advocate of Nigeria, SAN, Femi Falana, will be representing the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NAD, in their legal battle with the federal government. The chairman of communication and communique of the NAD, Dr. Julian Ojebo, disclosed this on Monday. On August 16, barely 2 weeks after the resident doctors started the strike, the Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment took the doctors to the National Industrial Court to explain why the no work, no pay rule should not be applied against them. The court, however, adjourned the case to September 15, 2021. The NET started the strike on August 2, 2021, after the federal government failed to fulfill its agreement made with them through a memorandum of understanding. National chairman of a political party known as Action Alliance, Adekunle Rufai, has debunked insinuations filtering from some quarters that the party is factionalized. Adekunle Rufai urged members of the public not to recognize one Kenneth Udeze, who has paraded himself as the chairman of the party. According to him, Kenneth Udeze had been expelled from the party since February this year, and his expulsion was affirmed by a federal high court in Abuja. The party chairman was speaking at a press conference in Osogbo, Osun State, speaking on efforts of the party concerning governorship election, which comes up in Anambra on the 6th of November this year. Rufai said the party has been working around the clock to ensure its candidate emerge as governor of the state. The AA chairman said the party has been touring all the local government areas in the state to convey support for the candidate.
All those who want to contest in our party are scaring because they were thinking that there is a faction in National Alliance when we don't have one. We have only one Action Alliance, ably led by my humble self, Honorable Adekunle Rufai Omaje. We don't have two Action Alliance, we don't have faction. Anybody that enter for oneness and That is our own problem.
The Association of Nigerian Licensed Custom Agents, ALCA, has accused the Nigerian Customs Service of unilaterally jacking up the cost of the pre-arrival assessment report within a short time of 24 hours. The Vice President of the association, Dr. Kayode Colin Farito, alleged that the Comptroller of PAR has directed that henceforth, by 1/20 filter duty be jacked up to 1 million naira and 1/40 filter duty be jacked up to 2 million naira as basic duty. Dr. Farito said that the move was a desperation on the part of the NCS management team to meet up with the self-imposed target. He pointed out that this negates the Valuation Act 20 of 2003, which stipulates 6 principles to follow sequentially on value. However, the Customs National Public Relations Officer, Deputy Controller of Customs, Joseph Atta, explained that the Customs does not value containers, but the value of the goods inside them, and duty rates vary in terms of percentages according to the kinds of goods in the container. He also said that duty rates can be 5%, 10%, or 20%, depending on the kind of goods.
Using licensed custom agent of actually trying to serve constitutional duty. However, whether you like it or not, it is our responsibility to protect our importers. If you are not playing the game by the rule, then what you are now telling Nigerians is to resort to self-help. There should be a rule of engagement. And whatever in every society, even in Banana Republic, before it is turned to Banana Republic, there was a rule of engagement.
And that's all from the local scene. A quick break we do. When we come back, we'll bring you a report from the foreign scene. Please stay tuned. This is MITV Media News. Now to foreign stories. An increasing number of children are being killed and abducted in Niger as the conflict in the country's western Tillabéri region bordering Mali and Burkina Faso has worsened significantly. Amnesty International's Matt Wells said on Monday while highlighting the release of a 57-page report that in parts of the country, an entire generation is growing up surrounded by death and destruction. The London-based human rights group pointed the finger at the Islamic State in the Greater Sahara, ISGS, and Al-Qaeda-affiliated Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam wal Muslimin, JNIM, for causing the devastating impact on children. In the region, according to the Conflict Location and Event Data Project cited by Amnesty, violence against civilians led to 544 conflict-related deaths between January and August, up from 397 people killed in similar incident in 2020. North Korea has tested a new long-range cruise missile capable of eating much of Japan, with state media saying on Monday that the weekend test saw missiles traveling up to 1,500 kilometers. It suggests North Korea is still capable of developing weapons despite food shortages and an economic crisis. The U.S. military said the latest test posed stress to the international community, and neighboring Japan said it has significant concerns. A picture in the newspaper showed a missile being fired from a launch vehicle, while another could be seen in horizontal flight. It added that the tests were carried out on Saturday and Sunday, with the missiles hitting the target before falling into North Korea's territorial waters. It is the country's first long-range cruise missile that could possibly carry a nuclear warhead, according to North Korea analyst Ankit Pandey.
The main strategic weapon which North Korea has tested and deployed is an ICBM, an intercontinental ballistic missile. A ballistic missile goes up in a parabola and is generally a much longer range weapon with a much bigger payload. Cruise missiles move in a straight trajectory. They sort of hug the ground or hug the ocean, and are much smaller weapons, as you can see from the images which were posted. What makes the statement interesting and somewhat threatening is that they're calling this a strategic weapon. That would indicate it's not going to deliver a high explosive payload, but some kind of weapons of mass destruction payload. And of course, the fear is this could be a miniaturized nuclear device. If that is the case, and we only have the North Korean state media word for it at this point, that would indeed add a very, very dangerous new capability to North Korea's existing armory.
Meanwhile, the head of the United Nations nuclear watchdog and Iran's nuclear chief have reached an agreement that will prevent another crisis looming over the prospect of restoring Iran's 2015 nuclear deal. Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Rafael Grossi, landed in Tehran and met the newly appointed head of the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran, Mohammad Eslami. It was Grossi's first trip to Tehran during the new administration of President Ibrahim Raisi, who appointed Eslami as the new nuclear chief on August 29th. Both sides called the meeting constructive and agreed they will continue discussions on the sidelines of the agency's general conference in Vienna later this month. They also agreed that Grossi would travel to Tehran again soon to replace the agency's monitoring cameras memory cards, which will still be kept in Iran in line with a law passed by the hardline Iranian parliament in December.
We managed to rectify the most urgent issue, which was the imminent loss of knowledge that we were confronted with until yesterday. Now we have a solution. Let me repeat, this is very important. This is going to allow us to ensure continuity of knowledge about the inventory, the production of heavy water, rotors, bellows for centrifuges, uranium ore concentrate, very important things that would have been lost. Now, this ability to continue to count on this has been restored. And on the my discussions with the new head of the AOI were very frank, were very, I would say, honest. We have our differences, but these were constructive discussions. And I believe if they have taken this decision now, is because they know that if we were to go back to the same situation, the Director General of the IAEA would have to say this again.
And up next, the sports stories. Please stay tuned. You're still watching Mitv Midday News. Now to sports stories. The 2021-2022 UEFA Champions League season will kick off on Tuesday with 8 centers coming alive for the start of the group stage of the highly lucrative competition. 2020 champions Bayern Munich start their Champions League campaign with a mouth-watering clash with Barcelona in a Group E clash at Camp Nou as the Bavarian giants confidently head into Europe after plundered reinforcement from Bundesliga rivals RB Leipzig. Dynamo Kiev kick off their campaigns when they host Benfica in the same Group E. English giants Manchester United return to action in Tuesday's opening Champions League group stage match against Swiss club Young Boys in Group F, which is also pairs Villarreal against Atalanta. Another English side, Chelsea, will start the defense of their Champions League crown with their home fixture against Russian side Zenit St. Petersburg. The Blues won European club football biggest prize for the second time, defeating Manchester City 1-0 in last season final to cap a remarkable turnaround in fortunes following Thomas Tuchel's mid-season arrival as manager. And it's a wrap on MITV News at 12. Join us again at 3 p.m. for our news headline. I am Teresa Adeyemi. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Good afternoon.